all good negotiation practices encourage collaboration of all parties to arrive at a win-win situation. However, in the real world, a ruthless negotiator can take advantage of the uninitiated, the naive, and the overly trusting. In this video, we look at 12 dirty negotiation tactics and how we can beat them, because victory is the best revenge. The first tactic we look at is bring in the dancer tactic, which is sometimes combined with the snowballing tactic. In bringing the dancer, the other person or party talks for a long time without saying anything important to the real issues. It is usually intended as a distraction, and if we are unprepared, it could even confuse or intimidate us. This tactic can be combined with the snowballing tactic, where they overwhelm us with unnecessary, meaningless, or even fake data to support their position. The countermeasure is simple. We ask specifically how this information relates to the negotiation. We repeat our question several more times if necessary. The second tactic is making balloons futures, also known as the call girl principle tactic. The other party, for example, forecasts future sales growth, which is exaggerated from historic averages. Some negotiators in sales call this the call girl principle, in which a service is worth more before it is performed. Our most effective countermeasure is to remind everyone that we will base our decision or price only on past history, not on any speculations, and that what cannot be verified should be left out of the negotiation. The third tactic is the walkout tactic, also known as the take it or leave it tactic. This is where the other party deliberately walks out of a negotiation and showing no interest to continue. Or they tell us to either accept their offer or they walk away. The best countermeasure is we let them walk away. If they come back, we walk out ourselves. If they call or write later, we do not reply for at least 2 weeks. Tactic number 4 is the highball or lowball tactic. This is when they start with a ridiculously high or low offer that everyone knows is not realistic. The aim is to use it to provoke or stimulate a response closer to what they really want. This is a very old tactic which is still widespread, for example in bazaars. The most effective way is not to make a counter offer. We just tell the other party to try again, and to make a more realistic opening offer, we tell them to be more serious. Tactic number 5, left at the altar tactic, in combination with retrading the deal tactic. In left at the altar, the other party backs out of a deal just before we are ready to complete the agreement. They hope that we will yield to such 11th hour concessions because we are tired or worn out and just want to get the deal done. Retrading the deal is where the other party could try to reopen points from the negotiation after agreement has been reached. This is also called forgotten issue. In the first situation, we should not yield to 11th hour concessions. It is better to let the deal drop and go through a quiet period. And if they try to reopen already agreed points, we should simply say no and call them out for breaking the agreement. Nonetheless, we must expect this tactic very often because experienced negotiators know that 80% of the concessions we will make will occur towards the end 20% of the negotiation. So it will be difficult for them to resist using this tactic. Tactic number 6 is the famous good cop, bad cop tactic. In negotiations, the good cop, bad cop tactic can even be played by one negotiator who uses a mixed technique such as switching from friendly to impatient or tough and threatening, then even to being indecisive. Or one that he or she is giving us the best deal possible today and that if we come back tomorrow, we should expect to get a worse deal from his or her big bad boss. The countermeasure is to call the other party on it. We tell them that we like straightforward negotiations, and we remind them that we need to work together collaboratively. This will easily diffuse the effectiveness of this tactic. Tactic number 7 is the bogey, or the false concession. The bogey tactic is a deceptive tactic in which the other party pretends an issue is of great importance to them in order to distract us from their real objective. By agreeing to concede on their bogey issue, they then expect us to concede something important as well. The countermeasure is to do our homework. Indeed, the key to excellent negotiation is excellent preparation. Also watch out for non-verbal cues using our emotional intelligence to understand what is important to them. For example, if the other party later accepts to make a concession very easily, we know that point was not important to them. Tactic number 8 is calling a higher authority tactic, or the no commitment tactic. This is where the other party says they do not have the authority to make a final decision and need to speak to someone else first. They hope to drain our energy and patience, and that after many iterations, we will just back down from our position. The countermeasure is simple. We tell them that we will now stop negotiating until we can directly negotiate ourselves with the decision maker, because this is a waste of our time and effort. Tactic number 9 is called the crunch time tactic, or trying to make you flinch tactic. The other party applies a lot of pressure by saying, "That's nonsense. You have to do much better than that." They keep making demands, waiting for us to reach our breaking point and concede. They might even try to get under our skin by attacking us personally, with the aim to kill our confidence and make us angry, so we start making mistakes. A good countermeasure is we show shock and amazement that this issue has been raised, and we tell them that they are off topic. Then we repeat the offer we just made. We should never react to personal attacks. Tactic number 10 is the tasty salami tactic. In a salami tactic, they initially withhold strategic information which they know will have a high value to us. For example, that they are prepared to accept a 10-year contract for our services. However, they start by negotiating, say, for a 1-year contract. Then after squeezing everything we can offer, they then propose even more concession by saying, "What more are you prepared to offer if we go for, say, a 5-year contract?" they repeat the same for a 10-year contract, and each time they encourage us to give them something in return. If we failed to predict this from good listening and prior research we did, a good countermeasure will be just to tell the other party directly that we feel they are now trying to use the salami tactics on us. This way we force the other party to be satisfied with only a small salami slice instead of many thick slices. Tactic number 11 is the bait and switch tactic, where, for example, a company makes an extremely attractive salary offer during the interview as a bait. However, when the job offer actually arrives, the salary is much less. This way they force us to act, to either take it or to renegotiate. The countermeasure is to remind them of the original agreement, then ask to renegotiate if they refuse. Give your deadlines and remind them of your alternative plan, which we should always have. Tactic number 12 is the turning Soviet tactic. This is a truly mean or evil negotiator that does not care if our side gets anything out of the deal. They want everything. They would even rather make losses than allow us to make a small win. This is the opposite of a win-win. The best countermeasure is to ask for someone else to negotiate with, and do not start again until our request is granted. In concluding, a good negotiation is where everyone walks away from the table with the feeling that they have won something, or at least have not been cheated. Good negotiation practices teaches us that if we have to share a pie, the best way is to make the pie big enough so everyone gets enough pie. Whatever you do, may it make you happy.